Alright, got a good question from Honky Tonks. Not sure if people understand this concept, so he says, sorry, I was just curious as the benefits of FM radio is to a CB, because it was my understanding that CB was AM radio. So I think a couple years ago, the FCC, I'm going to do a little picture here, but the FCC approved FM. And basically, without getting into the minutia, you have AM and sideband that people traditionally know about. FM is just another mode of modulating a signal. Some people like FM. They feel like it's a little louder and a little clearer. So manufacturers started marketing radios with FM in them. So I'll explain. I'll draw a picture here. So imagine this is your, imagine you're looking at signals that you can see, right? And this is your static, okay? And what you would do is, if like on an AM radio, and a lot of people don't use it, but you have a squelch knob. Imagine this hard line as a squelch knob. This is you turning up your squelch knob to silence the radio. And then what happens is your friend gets on to call you, and their signal comes above that, okay? This is just, imagine like a sine wave, okay? I'm just doing rough pictures here. And the squelch opens, right? And you hear the signal. That's in an ideal world, okay? Now, what happens is the problem with this is, we'll draw our noise floor again, right? And you set your squelch, and then you're driving around town, and you get psh, 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 and it drives you goddamn batty, right? Static, the guy down on channel 11 with a fecal impaction trying to clear it, going, I'm sure you've heard those idiots before. So the nice thing about FM is what we can do on FM. I got more paper here. What we can do on FM is there's a thing called, and now Cobra missed the ball. They just offer radios that are FM only. Well, there's a thing, people in the commercial world know it as, sometimes it's referred to as CTCSS. That's continuous tone, dang it, carrier, CTCSS, signal, what is it, continuous tone carrier signal swells. I can't remember what it stands for, but basically it's called tones. It's a tone squelch. Sometimes it's referred to as tone squelch, TSQ. Sometimes in the commercial world, Motorola called it PL, which was private line. And how does that work? So going back to our scenario with our noise floor, right? Here's our static. And then you set your radio to say, only open your squelch when I hear, and it's a sub-audible tone. So we have, like, say our normal frequency of speech is like 20 kilohertz. 20 hertz, I meant to say. Let me do that again. 20 hertz, to say, like on a CB, we'll just say to 6 kilohertz, right? The human ear can easily hear that, right? Well, PL tone, or tone squelch, is usually starts at about 67 hertz, and I think it goes up to somewhere in the 200 region. It doesn't go above 300 hertz. And the idea is that this tone is harder for the human ear to hear. I think 210, I can't remember how high it goes. Some people can hear it. It might be like a rumbling sound, a very low rumbling sound. So this is superimposed. So if both of your friends have radios that are capable on CB of tone squelch, you say you agree upon a tone. Let's just say, for argument's sake, we use 67 hertz. Your radio's squelch will listen for 67 hertz and will only open when it hears 67 hertz. So That means when you're driving down the road, the guy going, and the psh, 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 you won't hear any of that until your friend keys up. Let's just do our imaginary, right, sine wave, okay? And then superimposed on that at a level that you can't hear, some people can hear, it's like I said, it's a low rumbling. That tone is superimposed on your voice signal. So it rides in with your voice signal and the radio goes, aha, open the squelch. I use this, I have a President CB, and when you're dealing with non-radio people, they don't want to hear all that psh, 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 psh. So you set a squelch tone. And then you can drive down the road and you won't hear anything unless it's that, and you have to program this into the radio. So when you get together and everyone's got a radio capable of tone squelch, you all agree upon a tone for your channel. And this only works on FM. So it can make for a more pleasurable, I guess you'd say, listening experience. This system's been around for a very long time. It's widely used in the commercial radio service. Also, radios are capable of what's called a DPL, which is a digital private line, or some manufacturers call it a DCS. Excuse me. I'm looking through a camera and doing this. Digital coded squelch. Sometimes tone squelch can get fooled. If it hears something in the atmosphere and it thinks it hears that tone, it can create a false activation. So you could use a DPL, which is much harder to spoof because DPL is digital. So this is much harder to spoof in the wild. That gets superimposed on your audio signal when you're talking. So sometimes now I know like the presidents and the strikers, I don't know about all of them, but they do offer DPL, which is a better option. So hopefully I've explained that for Honky Tonk, that FM is legal to use. Not all radios, like I said, come with CTCSS. That's what I see most CB manufacturers terminology using. I do occasionally see TSQ, which is tone squelch, and DPL, which I used to work in land mobile radio, like Motorola, Kenwood stuff. DPL is the term they use, but DCS is the other one, which is digital coded squelch. So if you're going to use FM and you're going to buy a radio with FM, I highly recommend getting one with a CTCSS system in it. The Cobras don't have it. I don't know. I'm pretty sure some of the presidents, but not all, have it. So I would definitely look at that when you, if you're going to purchase a radio and use FM. It just makes for, it's not a deal breaker, but I tend to use FM with my friends when we're convoying to hunting camp, because I have some kind of non-radio people, and they don't want to hear that nonsense. They only want to hear what they need to hear, so we employ this system on the radios, and it works very well going down the road. So anyways, thanks for watching, and hope that answered your question, Honky Tonk.